In the last game for the divisional round of the NFL playoffs, Buccaneers versus Saints. The Buccaneers beat the Saints 30-20. Um, it just it was a masterful display of defense by the Buccaneers. A lot of people are going to go and point to Tom Brady. They're going to point to that offense, all the stars. The offensive side has all the known names, but the defense was really the star of the show for the Buccaneers. They forced 4 turnovers by the Saints. The Buccaneers scored 3 touchdowns off those first 3 turnovers, 21 points when you scored 30. Short fields for the offense. And they really kept the Buccaneers in the game. I think the turning point in this game was that Cook fumble. The Saints were up 20-13. They were driving down the field. It was the middle of the third quarter. The Saints had scored on their first drive of the third quarter. The Buccaneers hadn't done anything with their drive. They had a punt. The Saints were marching down the field. It felt like the Saints were going to take a 27-13 lead, and it was going to kill the Buccaneers' game plan. They were going to have to abandon the run. They were going to have to air the ball out. Brady was on his way to throw maybe for 50, 55 times, and they were going to play catch-up, and then the Saints were going to pull away, and it was going to start to look like the Sunday Night Football game from early in the season. But the Buccaneers stepped up, forced a fumble, returned it pretty good. I think the Buccaneers only had to go like 45 yards to score the tying touchdown. And then after that, they intercepted Drew Brees twice, got another touchdown, got a field goal, sealed the game. That Buccaneers defense was elite. Those turnovers really sealed the game because the Buccaneers offense didn't really do much. It's not like Brady was making amazing throws. It's not like Brady was marching down the field. It was really the Buccaneers defense giving the Buccaneers short fields, giving that offense short fields, shortening the field, just really hunkering down too. Also, at the beginning of the game, it felt like the Saints could have really taken the momentum and built a big lead. The Saints had a punt return to the 21-yard line, and they settled for a field goal. The Buccaneers defense held them to a field goal. Also, the Saints got another punt returned for a touchdown. It got called back for an illegal push in the back. This is a kind of soft call, in my opinion. It was a small push, but the right call. And then the Saints marched down the field, and they got held to a field goal again. So, what could have been 14-0 right away, just out of the gate, turned out to be just 6-0 because the Buccaneers defense held. And I think that was the key to the game. Those two defensive holds, or 3. The 2 defenses at the beginning of the game, where they held the Saints offense to 2 field goals, and the punt return that was called back because of a illegal blocking back, and the forced fumble on Cook to stop the Saints from extending their lead when they were up 20-13. I think that was pivotal to keep the Buccaneers in the game and not have to get out of their game plan and not have to stop running Jones and Fournette. Because if they would have just started throwing the ball, we know that the Saints could have started pressuring them, and then it would have started to look like a Sunday night game. And Brees looked like he couldn't push the ball down the field. Once the Buccaneers took a lead, like a 2-possession lead, and it was up to Brees to bring him back, you kind of knew that he couldn't. Those big plays were just not there for Brees to make. He doesn't have the arm strength. He had a couple throws where he missed them high, uncanny for Brees, but more like now that he's old, that he doesn't have the arm strength. I think he compensates for that arm strength with the loss of accuracy because he's just trying to push it. So before the game, it was known that Brees was going to retire. I forgot his name, but one of the reporters for Fox announced that Brees had told him that he was going to retire. After the game, he kind of backtracked and he said he was going to take a look at the season as a whole and really see what he would do going forward. I do believe he's going to retire. I think that's it. They're saying that he's going to be an announcer for NBC. So we'll see if he does that. Good luck to Brees and all his endeavors moving forward. He had a great career. He only won 1 Super Bowl with Sean Payton, the genius that Sean Payton is. But where do you guys rank Brees in all-time QBs? That's another discussion to be had. I think he's top 10, maybe top 5. I could touch on that later, but Brees did look washed. He had 3 interceptions, I believe. The almost pick six he threw at the in the first half really kept the Buccaneers in the game. And then the interception where he was trying to hit Kamara through the seam. I don't know if that was miscommunication or that was just a bad Brees throw. It looked like they were not on the same page, but it also looked like maybe Brees missed a throw. And Devin White, linebacker for the Buccaneers, he had a great game. He was all over the field, making plays. He recovered the fumble. He had an interception. He was a force on that defense. Devin White, they were saying he was snubbed for the Pro Bowl. Judging by the way he played today, he definitely was snubbed. If he was playing like that the whole season, Devin White, probably the player of the game, in my opinion. The defense all the Buccaneers defense should get the game ball, but Devin White especially, he was a standout player. And Brady didn't make mistakes. But I will say this, the Saints defense had 2 or 3 throws from Brady that they could have made a play. They could have intercepted him, and they couldn't come down with those interceptions. There was a throw that Brady had on the flat. I think they settled for a field goal that drive, but that could have been intercepted. He kind of said he when he threw it, you could read his lips, and he was like, oh, he kind of knew it was a bad throw, and the defense had both hands on it, but just couldn't come down with it. And there was a couple throws, I believe, down the middle where the defender cut the wide receiver and had both hands on it too to intercept, but they just couldn't come down with those plays. And if the Saints pull off any of those interceptions, maybe it's a different game. Maybe they get momentum, but like I said, those turnovers were the main factors in deciding who the winner was. Saints had 4, Buccaneers had none, and the Saints had opportunities to intercept Tom Brady, and they just couldn't come down with it. So that might be the difference in the game. The Buccaneers held on to their catches, to their interceptions, and the Saints couldn't. And then at the end, it just unraveled for Brees. It just unraveled for the Saints. But Sean Payton, I'm sure he's gonna continue to be a great coach. He's a great offensive mind, as you could tell by that Winston touchdown. Beautiful trick play that they stole. He liked what he saw from the Bears last week. He implemented it to his offense this week and worked out to perfection. So we all know Sean Payton is a genius, offensive genius. So I'm excited to see what they do in their quarterback going forward. Is it going to be Winston? Is it going to be Hill? Are they going to draft someone? Are they going to trade for one of these quarterbacks that are rumored to be leaving their teams? We'll see what the Saints do. I'm excited to see how they do going forward, because Brees didn't have an arm the last few years, so he couldn't really push the ball down the field. I think Sean Payton will get somebody that is capable of making those throws, and it really unlocks his offense again. And for the Buccaneers, the key to beating the Packers is going to be their defense. How well do they play against the Packers? And the Buccaneers, it's going to be cold in Green Bay next week in Wisconsin. So we'll see. They should run the ball. Fournette and Jones, and we'll see. It's gonna be an interesting game. I'm excited to see. I do have the Packers winning, but I would not be surprised if Brady pulls it off, if that defense pulls it off. Very excited to see how that plays out.